Hello everybody, welcome to the 46th and final episode of the Chicken Chess Club podcast. My name is Gustafsson. Apologies for the sound quality. Also something we should say at the start of every episode, but I didn't manage to connect my fancy microphone. I'm on the road again, but fortunately for us, in this uncertain world, we know one thing. Laurent Fressinet is sitting in his apartment in Paris in a great mood, ready to tell us all about the action. Laurent, how are things?
Hi, Jan. Hi, Peter. Yeah, you were complaining before we started recording that I look in a great mood, and I most of the time do. So yeah, I'm fine actually. Not better than usual, but not much worse. Well, I played yesterday. We just discussed that last week. I played this try to qualify for this Champion Chess Tour, which Peter chickened out. Peter looks great today. That annoys me a little bit, actually. He's shaven. People can't see, but he's shaven. He looks 15 years younger. This is amazing, actually, for a guy who will be 50 this year, no?
Yeah, in just over 2 months.
Wow. So how is life, Peter? Tell us.
A bit up and down. I mean, my oldest son had the flu last week. I was at home looking after him, and he was not. He was in bad shape at times, but it got better. But of course, again, just to annoy Jan, we have this concept. He was lying in bed watching movies while I could sit at the computer nearby analyzing openings, right? But no, he was. It was tough for him, but he got better. But then in the weekend, things sort of cleared out. And, sort of my favorite experience from the week was that I bought a table football game. You know this, you've all played it, right? But I had to put it together myself, which took like five hours and ended up at 3:00 at night. It was a horrifying experience generally, but I got this idea to maybe make chess courses like this kind of guidelines you get for putting together a football table or any kind of IKEA furniture. It's basically you give them 3 diagrams and that's it, right? So basically beat the Berlin, you just put on 3 diagrams and you have to figure out the rest yourself. I have no idea how they get away with this. I had to Google things and I was basically crying around 1:00, but I ended up managing in the end. So that's the kind of stuff I do. But unlike Laurent, of course, I couldn't play this chess tournament. So I'm just getting ready, but actually for something very strange. I'm going on a training camp, but we will probably talk about that later.
We can do that.
Why are you not at home?
I played chess this weekend. I won 2 chess games in the German Cup. We were playing the Cup, whatever it is, in between rounds, so it's not the final round. Baden-Baden, we played with 4 grandmasters, and our opponents weren't so strong. We played the German Blind Chess Players Federation. Was interesting. It was the second time I played against someone blind. And I'm not sure if you guys have done it. You make the moves on a big board, and they have a smaller board where they can touch the pieces and feel them, and then you announce your moves, and they make their move on a smaller board and tell you, and you make the move on a big board. I mean, it took a minute getting used to, but then it felt more or less like a normal game, and I won a very exciting Catalan. But I'm happy to win as usual, but I beat 220-200, so I'm not sure I can proclaim my glorious comeback just yet.
Did you use some prep from the match in the Catalan? That would make Peter very happy.
Let me think. I played what I always played, this bishop b4 check, bishop d2, a5. The guy played a3. I was out of book, but I went back to e7. It's probably in some file. So...
Yeah, a3, you are out of book. It's a lie, but yeah, okay.
No, that's actually a lie. Bishop e7, he went something.
I want to butt in about playing blind players. This I have done in an open tournament in Spain. Me and Sattler, who were both quite decent grandmasters at the time, was playing 2 blind players. And Sattler got completely crushed. and I barely managed to draw. So they were good, but still it was pretty shocking. But my trick was that, the guy was in some kind of time trouble. And at some point, I just made my move and pressed the clock. And he started sort of coughing a little bit. And I thought, okay, there's something wrong. But, it turned out I haven't told him my move, but just pressed the clock. So, there is certain tricks that works if you really want to play them dirty.
You have to tell your move.
It's kind of necessary.
Actually, I never played. Of course, I saw some blind people play in some chess tournament. And I saw how it worked. I thought maybe with new technology, the technique had improved, but actually there's no way around telling your move.
No, and ideally you should not just say whatever, knight e4, but you should spell it out a little, now I can't think of a word with E, knight elephant 4, you should say.
Okay.
Emil would normally use names.
Yeah. Surprising, that's the first word.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Yeah, that was my weekend. Let's get to the chess action of the Monday. We had the Champions Chess Tour qualifier, which is always an amazingly strong event. There were people qualify for these 3 divisions of the online tournament. And in the first division, Magnus, Wesley, Hikaru, and who else were already qualified?
Caruana.
And Caruana, yeah. So 4 more were to join them. Laurent Fressinet did not quite make it. It was Lei Kwang Lim, Levon Aronyan, Vladimir Filseyev, and Vladislav, Baby Don't Hurt Me, Artemiev that made it to the top group. Peter's making faces. You don't know the classic Hathaway song, Vladislav, Baby Don't Hurt Me? Don't hurt me no more?
I don't. I was also trying to get a comment in. You called it the qualifier. But, you're an NBA guy. I thought they were trying to use NBA lingo, and they call it play-in, right?
Play-in, yeah.
Okay. That's what it's called officially? The play-in tournament. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, so I played that one. I didn't make it to the first division. I didn't even make it to the... actually, the first 72 could play one more match to qualify for third league or second division or whatever. I made 50% and finished 81st. But I actually, it was my first rapid online tournament. And actually enjoyed the process. Of course, I should adjust a little bit to the time control. In these times, mainly I was a bit slow, and in this time scramble, I used to emerge 10, 20 years ago. I used to emerge as a winner from this time scramble. But now it's exactly the same, and I just have to resign at the end of it. So it's just a small death, but you have to accept it and avoid it. So that's the main lesson of my tournament. But actually, I was surprised that I could, because I played this Blitz online. You cannot really focus. I don't really enjoy this stuff, but this I could really focus and a bit too much actually, because you cannot spend 2 minutes on a move. So sometimes I was even forgetting about the time, and so I should be more practical for the next time. And it's interesting. You play some strong players, you get some practice. It's not that difficult to. It's possible to make a price even. It's not impossible, that's for sure. Very well organized, I must say, and. It's a nice experience, and it's you don't wait in between games. Everything is very, very smooth. So I don't know who qualified for the second league or for the second division or the third division. You just when you lose, you just leave. Yeah, that's it. But Peter didn't want to join me and challenge me, which is a pity.
Yeah, I have to admit that I would be generally tempted to play the event, but partly it is that I have sort of spoken out about the boycott of players for some countries, so this would be a problem. Secondly, I was actually driving at the time, so I thought also that would be a problem. When I came back from driving, I realized that round 3 had started, so mean, it was a bit here and there. But also, I mean, I thought you played way better than I expected, and you still ended up in pretty bad state. So I'm not so optimistic about my result. But in general,
pretty bad is 50. I mean, like...
No, I thought with 50% you had a chance to qualify, and maybe you did.
I mean, like, some people qualified with 50%. I mean, it depends on the tiebreak, which is obviously very random in such Swiss events. No, but I had some weak moments, and mainly times Campbell. I would just lose. I mean, all my times.
But generally, I think it's an amazing concept. It's like, you can see it in tennis, in Wimbledon or whatever. I mean, a lot of people has the chance to show up for a qualifier, and if they're good enough, they will actually force their way through. I mean, I really like that this option exists. I mean, well, you saw now also we will talk about European Championship, but then you actually have to travel somewhere to give it a shot. Like here, you simply, you can just do it from home, and this is, it's a cool thing they have going. I'm actually a huge fan.
What are we talking about, like shopping? No, you can do it from home now.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
No, but to bring this back to Old Man Corner, Laurent, I'm guessing you had a similar experience. When we were like 19, 20, I wasn't world champion, but I was playing a lot on the Internet Chess Club. And I was completely practical. Like, I would never spend 2 minutes on a move in a blitz or rapid game. I would flag the other guy when we both had 30 seconds. And now you're sitting there and you're trying to do the same thing, but it's just impossible. Do you have the same feelings?
No, exactly. No, I was never a beast. I mean, like, online, I was never flagging people, actually. But, yeah, this feels, it's a rapid game, 10+2, but I feel my brain is just disconnecting when I have 30 seconds or less, so I should just avoid it. And, it's very sad, actually, that you just feel you don't have an explanation. You don't have any... I mean, I'm aware of that for many years already, and I mean, you are not going to improve at it. That's simply something you have to accept. This will go down and down. So this is very sad because the only explanation is that we get older. But we have to accept it and play a bit faster, play more with experience. And if we don't play the best move, or what we think is the best move, which is probably not the best move, it's okay. We just play some normal move. Actually, I lost to Jordan. He's 20, but he's 20 something, but he's incredibly practical. He's playing all these moves very fast.
It's very tilting to play him. No, he blitzes out random moves. You have a feeling it's not good.
Yeah, no, it's not great. It's not great. I was just I misplayed. So I pulled in the opening, and then I was better immediately because he was playing way too fast.
That's your honest opinion, that you're better than Jordan in strategical. You're capable of outplaying him, right?
No, but I mean, I played many blitz. I mean, I had to play many blitz in Thailand. I mean, I didn't feel like much weaker than him in blitz. I feel I had my chances, Every game it was like, clearly I had chances, It's not like one-way traffic, like when you play against Magnus, there's a guy who is just putting his pieces on the right place. When there's calculation, he always does it better. When there's endgames, he always does it better. With Jordan, you always have a chance.
You understand? That's exactly how I feel about playing you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's more enjoyable, actually. It's very enjoyable.
I thought, when I saw you guys had to play, I was enjoying it, and I thought that, I agree. You have a chance to outplay him, no doubt, but practically speaking, he's stronger. There's no doubt about that as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, it's like what my old buddy Bakro told me once, that it's so exciting when we play matches because he's winning a game, I come back, then I win, then he's coming back, We always feel we have a chance, And, it's very even. And, that makes it more interesting.
I really like it with these events. That also it gives players like that. I mean, you get a chance to actually play a strong tournament like this. I would generally really like to play. But we'll see.
Yeah, okay, next time.
What about you, Jan? You don't feel you're missing out on playing this?
The problem for me is like playing chess is connected with so much self-loathing for me, and I don't really like my chances. Which I guess, I should as Laurent said, accept Father Time and still take it as an opportunity to play some games against strong opponents, which I'm severely lacking the last couple of years. But yeah, it's hard to motivate for lack of self-belief, frankly, because I think Laurent played a great tournament and he's still 82nd. Like, yeah, but
no, I didn't play a great tournament. I mean, like, I missed. I mean, like, the first part was fine, but then the second part I missed way too many opportunities. I mean, like,
you beat Grishuk.
Yeah, but he lost himself. I mean, like, okay.
What is this? 2012.
I mean, like, Grishuk was. It was a start. I know I was +1 very quickly. And then, no, I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, like, trust me, it's not +2, +3. It's very possible because you get chances in every game. But you should try. I mean, there is no. I understand what you're saying, but there is no rating. There is no, you lose, you do something else. It's 3 hours. Of course, I got annoyed after I lost some games, but. It's okay. I mean, it's not. It's not a big deal. So
no, I agree. It makes sense to play, just to muster up the motivation or courage, whatever you want to call it. Has been has been rough. So the finals with the Division 1, 2, 3 will be played in April. This was the play-in, but the tournament continues next month. When, Carlsen, Nakamura, So Caruana, Le, Aronian, Fedoseev, Artemiev. As always, very, very strong.
Are you going to bet against a new Carlsen Nakamura final? Is it actually above 50% for that pairing? Probably not.
I guess it's likely with a double elimination, no? But Wesley, I always believe in Wesley.
Le Kwang is very impressive. Artemiev can also do some nasty stuff.
I was impressed a bit. I thought there was a couple of surprises in the qualification, right? That Maxim lost, for instance, in the...
He lost to Artemiev, but he was there. No, I mean, let's... I mean, like, there's like 15, 20 players who are... I mean, and these guys are part of them, who are just much better than the rest, actually. And they will always do well in these events. I would say Alireza, Firouzja, of course, Kramnik, I mean, there is some people that have a standard, very high standard. Maxim as well. These 8 guys as well. So Eric Gazy, Prague. I mean, like, let's say there are 20 people who I feel they are playing in different league than the rest. Maybe Giri as well, who only made it to second division, well, which is not a disaster, I guess. But these guys are all good. Very hard to say. Levon is always a surprise to me to see him there, but he keeps going.
Yeah, and you did mention Alireza. We have to address his performance. He scored 4 out of 8, and then he had to go to fashion class. So what happened there?
No, I love it. I mean, like he said. Well, basically 4.5 out of 8. Okay, if he wins the last game, he would fight for Division 2 or 3. I don't know. I didn't really check. But for Alireza, it's Division 1 or nothing. That I love. And he just quit. He doesn't want to lose time. And I actually love it. That you just quit the tournament when you are...
Why do you love it? Don't you think it's better to finish a tournament? He can then not play Division 2 or 3, but what's so great about it?
Yeah, but if you're not planning to play Division 2 or 3, why do you play the last round and knock out someone? I mean, like, okay, I don't know.
But that applies to many situations, no? So you're saying if you can no longer win or qualify, you should withdraw.
No, but what I like is that... No, I didn't say he had to withdraw and it was good to withdraw. What I like is that he doesn't want to play Division 2 or 3. I mean, this is a statement. I mean, then the way to do it, there is no good way to do it, because when you start a tournament, there is Division 1, 2, and 3, so you should accept that maybe you don't make it to Division 1 and then you have to play another division. But this is a strong statement, and this is not... forbidden actually by the rules, as far as I know.
So basically, you feel he's integrating into France. There is some arrogance. That's what you're saying, yeah?
Exactly. He gets the arrogance stamp on his passport.
Also, all future players should note that if you switch to the French Federation, you get Laurent Fressinet as your unpaid publicist who will spin whatever you do in a positive light. So there's an added benefit.
No, but I mean, look. I mean, let's say Magnus. At some point, they make a play-in with all people who should qualify. You think Magnus would play the second division?
But that's not the point. You can finish the tournament and then say, I'm not playing second division. Please replace me by the next in line. That's the normal thing to do, no? Like, especially with 3 hours total, like the 1 more hour.
I don't know what's the normal, because you can quit at any time. So.
I can understand quitting at round 6. Quitting after round 8 is a bit weird. You don't save that much time, but I don't know.
No, it's just to say I don't want to play the next one without saying it. I don't want to play...
I mean, if he quits before the pairings are made, I think it's okay. If you quit after the pairings are made...
No. Of course he quits after before the pairings are made. No, you just close the stuff and you...
For a change, I don't have a strong opinion.
Wow, that's amazing.
I thought one should finish tournaments, but yeah.
Yeah, but...
It's not a big crime. I'm not going to make it...
No, but I think that is actually an interesting cultural thing. I think especially in Western Europe, we are brought up with that it's a sin not to finish a tournament. While for instance,
it's deep in my childhood, like you always
exactly.
play till the end, unless you really...
While in the US, for instance, I think it's considered extremely normal. I think it's just a cultural thing.
Yeah, maybe it's a different...
well, there you just... I think so. No, I mean, in Denmark, they would ban you for a long time. And I think that you are behaving incredibly unsportsmanlike. But I think in the US, well, you paid to enter. If you choose to leave, you're absolutely welcome. They even have rebuys or whatever, all kind of systems, right? No, I mean, my instincts are exactly the same as you, but I think it's very, very cultural. And I can see both point of views.
I don't know, it's cultural. I think the new generations are more okay to just give up, to just withdraw from the tournaments. Maybe it's just some internet stuff where you can actually withdraw any moment from let's say Telltale Tuesday, any tournament online. You have just one click, and you just quit, and that's it. While for us, we didn't go up as playing online, and then we just it's you are traveling somewhere. I mean, okay, you have your tickets, you have everything booked, and it's a bit weird just to live in the middle of it.
No, it could be right that the online culture has changed and it's no longer, quote unquote, wrong to withdraw. Honestly, I don't know. Yeah, it's my instincts from the old days, but yeah, as I said, not a big deal either way. I was just surprised Laurent loved it so much.
I mean,
no, I thought the concept was.
Let's move on, Laurent. Another thing you love is the there you might hurt others a bit more. Another thing Laurent loves dearly is the Pro Chess League. Laurent, were you paid to commentate? Can you give us an update?
No.
I have no idea what happened.
I was offered to make some commentaries, but I couldn't make it. But I know for the last week now we know. Few teams are not qualified, few teams are qualified, but there will be like so this is a week 5, and so the teams who are still playing, they won 2 matches, they lost 2 matches, and there is a big matchup between the French team of Blitz with MVL, Gritschuk, and so on, against the chess bra from Magnus. So that my heart is broken here. So let's say I wish Magnus makes 4 out of 4 and the French team wins. That's fair?
I don't know.
So that will be interesting to see if Magnus keeps staying in the competition. If the chess bra stay in the competition, which is very, very unclear because the French team has a very good team.
I was following Magnus's team, the Chess Bras, last match, and they just seemed to lose fair and square. Of course, it hurt that Magnus, he was suddenly mated in round 3, I think. Mm-hmm. I forgot the name of his opponent.
Shimanov,
yeah,
I lost to him also in the play, in some ridiculous game.
Magnus was much worse, and he managed to outplay him, but then he got mated. Well, I think also Kostanjuk plays the female board of their opponent, and she was making quite some points. So
yeah, exactly. They have Lagno in the French team, so that makes a difference. But they only have 50%, so it will be like very, very close, and we'll find out.
I mean, Grishuk doesn't seem to be in that great shape recently.
He still made it to third league, I think.
But also, Magnus' team could optimize the lineup more. I mean, they have players like Geary, for instance, right?
Okay. Let's see.
I don't know, when is it happening? Very soon?
Yeah.
Thursdays, 6 p.m.
This Thursday?
This Thursday, 6 p.m. And then the final 8 this Thursday, so this is like in 2 days, 16th. And then the playoff happening in May, I think, or something. So that will be even more exciting. Mm-hmm. And let's see.
Jan?
Yeah. Those were the online events. There was some good old-fashioned over-the-board chess, the European Championship. We talked about it a bit last week. Alexei Sarana won the whole event with 8.5 out of 11, ahead of, I hope I get this right, Shevchenko and Daniel Darda, who also had 8.5, but worse tiebreaks.
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As we mentioned last week, it's by many players mainly considered a qualifier for the World Cup. From a German perspective, I need to double check, but I think Donchenko and Frederick Svane did qualify for that event, so congrats to them. There was also a breakout player who, frankly, I'd never heard of, Marius Fromm, who scored an amazing 7.5 out of 11. Yeah, what do we think? Thoughts about the winner, the event, anything that caught your eye?
First of all, shout out to my old to my old colleague and friend Bakrotov, Mr. Bakrotov, who finished 5th, which he just turned 40 in January, so he's still +5 5th. I mean, it's a great result. Obviously qualified for the World Cup. Obviously, other French, I think Lagarde and Jules Moussard, they were already qualified from the last year. Some people they are still going there just for you play more relaxed in a way, and you can play for the top prizes. Well, for the winners, it's fully deserved. This guy. Sarana is of course incredibly good. Shevchenko is my teammate in Bundesliga. He impresses me a lot when we are discussing games at dinners or in post-mortem. He's very, very sharp, very impressive. Love chess. You feel the guy who is just studying chess all the time, think only about chess, and very, very motivated, and I'm happy for him. He's really a nice guy, and I believe he will be 2700 very, very soon. And Darda, also very, very strong young man from Belgium. I was a bit surprised. No, not surprised, but yeah, Korbov was leading. He had +6, I think. And he ended up on +4, lost the last round to Darda, actually. Pushing as usual. If you can win 6 games or be at +6 at some point, then it means you can lose as well, because it's his style. So it feels a pity for Anton, who is a great guy as well, but happens.
Yeah, it's what happens.
Yeah.
Like some people play for. Sorry, go ahead, Peter.
No, I thought we should just round off the Danish, because there was actually a Danish player, Jonas Bjerre, who was playing there. He played Frederik Svane in the last round, and the game was a draw. And that meant that Svane qualified and Jonas Bjerre didn't. And, readers of my weekly chess column will see next week that I write that he needed to win to qualify Jonas Bjerre. And that's technically correct. When bit I missed was that Jonas Bjerre was already qualified from last year. So you could argue that I kind of underinformed them there. So Jonas Bjerre was just playing to get experience. And I think playing European Championship is just an incredibly great opportunity for players in terms of if you do well, you get a very strong tournament. Maybe these days the tournament has actually gotten too big, so you get to play quite some weaker players. But at least in our times, I think it was an incredibly strong field, and I think it's a very cool event. I agree that it doesn't really catch the public's eye because the top is missing, let's say, compared to the FIDE Grand Swiss maybe. But it's generally an amazing event, and again, if we were younger, we would definitely play because it's a way for qualifying for the World Cup.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I just cut you on Korbov. What +6 now? I just checked it. He had +6 after 7 games. Can you imagine that? 6.5 out of 7, and he finished on. He lost 2 games, so he finished only on +4.
If we talk about Korobov, we have to talk about his hair as well. He has amazing hair.
Absolutely. I guess that's it on the European Championship. Yes, Arana, I've been a fan for a while, like especially of his wide openings. I was always studying his Title Tuesday games because he's a very aggressive, very compact 1d4 player who somehow always manages, I think we talked about him, to get an advantage or put pressure in the opening, even though he always plays the same. And he was more of an online professional the last couple of years, maybe also because of pandemic, and I'm not sure what his status was in Russia, but I think he moved to Serbia, and now he can play some more. And he's an incredibly strong player. So congratulations to him.
And you feel for people like Sarana, actually, my feeling, but it was wrong. I saw him in Blitz World Championship where he did very well. I think he even beat Magnus. He made it to top 5 or something, or top 3. I thought he was a Blitz and Rapid specialist because he was doing it online, but actually he's just a very strong player, and he just proved it, and he became a Rapid and Blitz specialist because he couldn't play classical tournaments, but he's just a chess specialist after all. He's just a very strong player.
Yeah, he's just good. Then we have the Norway Chess field announced. Norway Chess starting in, I believe, late May 28th, 29th.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fun field, I would say. It's Kazan, Firouzja, Ali Reza. Is he going to play all the rounds? Giri, So, Nakamura, Caruana, Mohamed Yarov, Abdusattorov, Gukesh, and Aryantari. Sounds nice, no? Only 2 solid boys, Anisha and Wesley. Other than that, could be a very fighting field. Atari is solid too. Atari.
Naka.
Yeah, Hikaru, I guess. Okay. Fabi is also solid. Maybe they're all solid. But it sounds like a field that will lead to some fighting.
Yeah.
Also, do they still play with this, extra games in terms of draws?
I think it still is Armageddon formula with 2 hours for the whole game and then Armageddon,
So it's more, it's a different kind of classical event still. So it's, but I'm looking forward to that. I think it's Magnus' next classical game, as far as I understand.
You know better, no?
I think so, yeah.
There's Grand Chess Tour before that. I guess he's not playing that. So it sounds like
I would doubt that. At least I haven't heard it.
Yeah, Tari, I don't know if we should call him solid. He will just try to survive in that field. It's always tough for the other Norwegian in that tournament, but it's great that he's getting an invitation. Yeah, but all the kids we want to see, Abdusattorov, Gukesh. I would please. I like to. I don't know. I feel Jan is not in such a great mood, so let's say I wouldn't mind Kamer instead of Shakria. Sorry, Shakria, if you're listening, but you're probably not. Yes, another youngster, Kamer or someone like that.
Yeah, he will get his chances, but his last 2 classical tournaments didn't go so great. So I think, in a way, it seems, whatever you want to call it, fair that Abdusattorov and Gukesh, who were the 2 youngsters who had outstanding classical results recently, got the shot. Abdusattorov had +4 or +3 in Vike, and Gukesh shared first in Düsseldorf. So I think it's all right. But Vinny will be back. I don't have doubt.
Yeah.
Maybe
and
also,
our boy, Alieza.
do Norway Chess have some kind of a series sponsor connection? I just thought that last year they had both the series playing for some specific reason. I mean, I could be imagining things, but I don't think so, actually. But also, I mean, Mamedyarov was incredibly close to winning the event last year. I mean, it was basically it came down to time pressure against Radyabov in the last round. And I think one correct move, he would have won. So, I mean, giving him a shot again is not too unreasonable. His rating has dropped a bit. So, I mean, Norway Chess at some point generally had this idea, we just invite the top 10 rated guys, right?
That was wrong, I think.
It was wrong?
I mean, like, no. I mean, they do whatever they like. But I didn't like the idea. Let's say if I would organize a top tournament, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
You would do that?
I mean, I think there is something charming of having the top 10 rated player in the world in a tournament. That's very, very. If you think that's wrong, it's very strange to me. I mean, it sounds just great.
Yeah, really? So number 9 in the world is Vichy, and number 10 is Radjabov?
Yeah. I get your point, but there is...
Anyone, I mean, like, Abdusattorov is number 17, but he clearly deserves. And Abdusattorov and Gukesh are 17th and 18th.
It's not a complaint. I'm just saying that having an event with all the top 10 players cannot be wrong by default. But I am extremely happy about this field, don't get me wrong, for a number of reasons.
Yeah, I think it's a better idea than to pick up players than having the top 10. It's how Vaikanze is doing, and I think they are massively,
You are missing my point. I'm saying that if you have the whole top 10, which I think they had at some point, it also makes it unique in a certain way.
Mm-hmm. That's unique, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with both. It's cool also from a marketing perspective to say we have number 1 till 10 in the world fighting it out. But I think there's also something to be said for creating a field that could lead to more fighting chess or more imbalances. And especially if you want a second Norwegian, then you probably won't go for these chases of highest rating average ever and so on. And then to make it a more fighting quote-unquote field, I think it's fun.
As soon as we don't have 1 till 10, I agree with you. I mean, then the story is gone, and then it makes sense to pick players like Tari and then go for Abdusattorov and Gukesh. I think we agree, to be honest. Anyway.
Finally.
No, that's going to be a cool event, and look very much forward to it. Stavanger is a nice place. Good restaurants, this kind of stuff.
Fiuja is doing well, yeah, generally. So, I remember a few years ago, he was almost... it was very close with Magnus, no?
But he was a chess professional a few years ago. You can't compare the situations.
Okay, we'll see. It will be interesting to...
It's going to be exciting how he dresses up.
Oh, yeah.
You will give him a tough time, Peter.
Yeah,
tough competition.
I'm normally very friendly with him, is my impression.
No, I mean, tough competition for the dressing.
I will try, of course.
Yeah.
Levon is not in there, so there's the top spot in the Peter rankings is open.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a 2-horse race now between Peter and Alieza.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
What else is happening in the exciting chess world? Chess as an Olympic esport, we talked about last week. There's some controversy. There was a post in French by Lichess. My French is not great. Laurent, what is this about? It's about...
Oh, come on, please. Don't be so shy. This is fake modesty.
I'm kidding. My French is amazing.
I mean, we don't buy it. You don't think. I mean, you don't think a word of what you just said. I mean, come on. You understood everything.
C'est vrai.
C'est vrai.
But this is about Chess.com having exclusivity. Who's the organizer? It's FIDE has the rights, or is it a governing body, or it's some esports federation or IOC? I don't know how stuff works.
Yeah, there's going to be a big qualification event for qualifying for this esport thing in Singapore, as you mentioned, and I think that's going to be organized on chess.com. And Lichess seems to be, well, pardon my French, but that's how I understood it, that they are upset there was not a sort of transparent bidding process, but they gave it to chess.com. That's how I understand it, but Laurent knows better. I just decided to. It was FIDE, so I had to jump.
Yeah, they make Peter. They were surprised not to be contacted by FIDE. Yeah, it's exactly. I'm just reading out what they wrote. Yeah, okay. This Lichess, I'm not. Should we make enemies? It's time to make enemies. No, they are giving lessons. I mean, the guy from Lichess is giving lessons to the whole world. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. But yeah. No, he's not happy. I don't understand exactly what he wanted. He doesn't make it clear. But they wish this tournament the best.
Interesting statement.
As far as I understand, they would have liked to organize it themselves, right? I think that's the point.
Yeah. They don't say it clearly, but it's what you can understand.
It also came a bit out of the blue for me.
But is it a FIDE event or an IOC event? Like, I got very confused. Like, what body this is, or we don't know. It's FIDE, yeah. Like,
I think it is IOC who is trying to get into the esports market, and then they have 9 different sports doing it, and then they do it via, the IOC member federations, which is FIDE, who then has the right to organize it, and then FIDE distributes it to chess.com. That's how I think it's done. But
who's the Just Dance IOC member federation?
That is the dancing federation. So, for instance, the dance federation will just have some top dancers go there and do just dance. While, for instance, if you want to play baseball, it's not going to be real baseball players. It's going to be an online competition where you play on your PlayStations. And Taekwondo, on the other hand, are doing they're actually kicking into some kind of virtual thing. So the sports do it in different. Gran Turismo is just a normal computer game. So it's done in very, different ways. But I think it's basically, IOC is not big in the esports world. I think the esports world is very separate. So they are trying to get into the market, and they're doing it like this. That's my biased view on it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have no idea what it's going to be, but can chess then call itself Olympic? Is that a thing? Because sometimes money depends on that, no? Like support for national federations and so on. If you're an Olympic sport, there are bigger budgets.
That is, I think that's a massive stretch.
They say in the middle that they were surprised not to be. I was very surprised that in the middle of the letters they talk about they talk about Macron, the French president, which is a bit random.
Good stuff. For now, I think for next time I'll be in charge of reading French texts if they're relevant.
Yeah, I think so.
We can't keep doing this. Next point on my list is the Offerspill camp. I have no idea what that is, Peter. Are you going to a chess camp?
Yeah, I'm going to a chess camp in Norway with Magnus's chess cup called Offerspill, and I basically thought it was a secret, but they seem to have published it on Facebook, so I guess we can talk openly about it. But it's basically, Magnus has this chess club that recently became the Norwegian champions, and they have a camp with, I think, an elite group of like 6-7 players, and then sort of the second tier, who is considerably bigger, and there will be a training camp where I think me and Ramirez is going to be sort of the coaches. Magnus is just going to, sort of hang out there, and I don't know what he will do, but inspire will probably be the word, and then we will do some different chess things. But you guys know that I'm used to doing camps, but we don't prepare at all there. We just meet and start analyzing, right? But I'm getting the impression that they expect something different here, actually, to have lessons and stuff like that. But I've come up with a great subject.
Correspondence, Chess 960?
Exactly. Yes. We will look at advanced level Correspondence 960 chess. I think that's going to be a hit. I also thought about talking to him how to make a good tweet, but maybe I'm not capable. But
I saw some Twitter conversation you had the other day.
Yeah.
Sounds like a blast. Where can we sign up, or is it?
Yeah. You just have to. I think you have to go to the sort of. Somewhere in a Norwegian ski hut. I will give you the address privately if you want to. Yeah, you have family there. Maybe you are in Norway now.
No, but you are, right?
I'm not yet. I'm going there tomorrow morning.
Okay. No, but Laurent loves Norwegian resorts. So
Kragerø. I still cannot pronounce it.
I have to say that the lesson I look most forward to is that we have a 3-hour block where me and Magnus will explain how we train. That's gonna be difficult. And then,
but where is it? It's in Oslo?
No, it's somewhere in Norway. I barely know where. I have an address. I will actually drive there, so it's going to be a bit interesting. But no, I don't know. I mean, well, you guys have been on training camps with Magnus. I don't think. I mean, well, these young kids want to know the secrets, and I have to come up with some secrets that doesn't really exist. So I don't know how it's going to be. But
the secret is to find the half-hour spot where Magnus will listen to whatever you've been clicking at.
Exactly.
No.
That's
it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if you find it or not. It doesn't change the result.
No. That's
because sometimes we found it, sometimes we didn't, but it was the same at the end of the day. So.
No, but I have to say, camps where Magnus is there are much more enjoyable
yeah, that's true.
than camps where he's not there.
Yeah, that's because...
and it's much more enjoyable for two reasons. I mean, the first one is that we have much more fun, and the second reason is that Peter is complaining because so little work is done.
Well,
that makes
true.
it I mean, like it's double, you know, like.
Yeah. No, but I agree. I mean, the camps with Magnus has not been very productive, but they have been good for other reasons of, let's say, team building, and as you say, we try to get some comments with Magnus. Well, I still remember the first camp we had where we had a Skype call with Adams, who wasn't in the camp but would be in the team, right? And I basically had to present our repertoire, and while I was doing it, Magnus just told me that, I mean, not told me, but told everybody, including Adams, on the video that there's no way I will ever play something like that, right? And so you get some input one way or the other. But I am looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. And we're probably going to go skiing as well and stuff like this. So it should be a blast. But I have prepared around 50 960 exercises based on, correspondence games and such. So I think they're going to love it.
I don't know if you're kidding or not.
I'm not kidding.
There's always a chance you're not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Poor kids.
Yeah. No, I mean, well, if they make this, they make it. So we'll see. Yeah, but it's very difficult. Well, have any of you done lessons for 10 years? I don't think so. Maybe Laurent is doing lessons, actually, right?
Yeah, I'm doing lessons, yeah.
Yeah.
Rarely. I mean, it's, of course, very different to what we usually do, which is, let's click on these opening moves and then deliver a file. In the end here, you have to think of a topic and have to think of the audience and so on. But also, I think it expands your horizons too if you have to prepare some topics and make them digestible. So no, I never liked doing it, but I feel it's good doing it once in a while.
No, what I like is that is to find out, to check the games and to find out the weakness and to try to improve on them. And I really think...
See, that's the excuse for not having to prepare. Okay, we'll look at your games and we'll find the weaknesses.
No, I do it before, actually. And then
Laurent seems to think he's Botvinnik, right? He just sits there and looks at the game.
And then I make a plan. And I think, it makes it challenging. I mean, to find out.
But you should
think you find out and then to see if your advices are working out, if the guy is improving or not.
I'm going to be the weakest player at the lesson. I cannot just sit there and look at their games and say, I think, you should have done like this. It makes absolutely no sense.
So you will give some random exercises?
I don't know. I will give some exercises. I will probably... Well, I have analyzed some starting positions from the tournaments. I will talk a bit here and there. Well, what do you want me to do? I mean...
No, but you should show how you work. Actually, it's interesting. Okay.
But how can I show how we work? I mean...
It will take half an hour, but...
You start a deep search and you go take a nap.
Yeah, exactly.
No, get some food first. then take a nap,
Yeah, but I mean, the premise is that I work for a genius and I just have to give him some opening lines. I mean, they are trying to become better chess players. I don't think that's the primary target of what we have been doing. It's very, I'm a bit perplexed on how to do it, to be honest. But no, you're right. They're telling me, just show us how you work normally. But I mean, we all know that includes playing football and stuff like this.
I'm sure they won't mind, but yeah, you'll have a good time.
If you feel let's continue this topic, Jan, please. So you are just saying I'm incompetent for that job. It's what you are saying.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Yeah. So why did you take it?
I was told to, obviously.
You were told to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so you're not getting extra money? It's just part of your regular duties?
Yeah, let's just smack me completely to the ground. Yeah. No, I will of course try. It's a chance for Magnus also to hang out with some people. This is going well, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is a chance for Magnus to get out, to hang out with some people. I think he gets a chance anyway.
Yeah. We'll see.
I mean, like, you being there doesn't help that. Yeah, so
wow.
you are has to. Okay.
We'll see.
No, I remember it's how Alireza came to the camp. Actually, he was. I think he was asking you to be his coach, no, or something like that when he was 13 or many years ago.
To be his coach is way too strong, but he was asking for some advice, and we were talking about things now and then. There's no doubt.
Okay.
But yeah. I think also 13. No, he was at a camp with the two of us and one more, right? That was very interesting.
Are you still in touch with Alireza?
No, I don't think so. No, he's. I mean, you based on his taste in fashion, you thought he could be inspired by me, but yeah, no.
No, I understand. You probably can't tell him about openings, but you could, yeah.
Yeah, we
Stay
could
in
speak
touch
about
about
these things.
Balenciaga sneakers or whatever.
No, unfortunately, he's very. I think, yeah. I forgot what happened. Maybe he just at some point he started texting to Fress instead. I think.
His French ties.
No, he was very nice to talk with when he was very young. We spoke a bit, and he was.
He's still very nice to talk.
Yeah. He's a cool guy. Also, I saw him.
He's a cool guy.
I'm actually on Team Fress on this guy. This guy is an interesting addition to the chess.
So am I. I'm
Oh,
big fan. Big
Okay.
fan. I just like to get Laurent to defend him.
We all move. We know the end of the story, no?
Yeah.
We need a genius, no?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, we need one genius to pretend we are good.
That's how it usually goes.
New generation is coming.
Okay.
All right. On more serious topics, of course, the chess world is still talking about the Alejandro Ramirez case. There was a podcast episode by our friends at the C-Square podcast by Christian Tirilla and Fabiano Caruana, who, know him much better than we do. Laurent, you can tell us what they talked about? I haven't listened to it, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, they talked about it. First of all, they corrected their first statement where they say basically nothing, and they say let's find out what the investigation will tell. Now they clearly, after the article from the Wall Street Journal, which we talked about last week, they gave the full support to the victims and to Jen Shahade, which is the most notable change in their communication, I would say. And they say they didn't know anything or notice anything from Ramirez's behavior. And to some extent, they talked about the chess world and how it works. In chess parties, let's say, Fabi is taking a very good example of Olympiad, for instance, when there's some parties going on at times, and you will I will hang out with Jan. We'll know someone who is 35. We'll hang out with someone who is 30. We'll hang out with someone who is 25. And at the end of the day, you have many people in some parties, and you don't know which how old are they, and there's some at times minors who might be drinking, and you don't even notice You just keep going. You just talk with your old friends, and maybe, as I said, it's a mistake. Peter, please.
Yeah, I wanted to add. I also listened to it. I think one point he made was that in chess we actually have very young colleagues at times. He pointed to that. Because of at the Olympiad, you will actually sometimes have Olympiad players who is in the team, both the open or more often perhaps the female team who is even below 15, but at times very much below 18. And he says that you end up in work/social situations with people you would never do elsewhere. I think it's a correct observation. For instance, me and Magnus's sort of work relationship started when he was, probably below 15. He came to my home, stayed there for a week, and we looked at chess. And that was simply because we were colleagues. We were the two highest rated players in the Nordic countries. So, that is a reasonable point. I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm just trying to refer what Alessandro what Caruana was saying, that chess has some structural things that needs to be dealt with better. Back to you, Laurent.
No, I don't know what was the rules. For instance, in the Bermuda Party, I think that minor were not allowed. Or did that work? I'm not sure actually. And it's in a way that I'm not sure is...
No, this year or last Olympiad, I know because I told. Poor Vincent, who was 17 at the time. It's 18 plus.
Okay,
you can't go. There was a rule that you could only get a ticket. I'm not sure if it's always.
Some official stuff are 18 plus is my best guess. I'm not even sure about it. It's true that when you have this kind of social stuff, you just hang out with your friends and you don't watch around. It's a good point from Fabi.
Yeah, but that's also a separate debate. No, I'm sure there. Yeah, all of us have been at discos or parties or whatever where you don't know everybody's age, but that doesn't justify misbehaving towards women, minors in particular. But I think it's a sort of separate debate if you're not sure if everybody at the Bermuda party or in the nightclub you're in is 18 or not. I'm not sure what that has to do.
No, of course, but it was just a defense because many people wrote into comments apparently in their podcast comments that how Kirila and Caruana, who are good friends of Ramirez, couldn't notice anything for so many years, and it's how they came up with that. And
that's also what Caruana is addressing. He's saying that, it seemed maybe in chat on comments, I'm not completely sure where, I forgot, that there was this impression that this was a more or less open secret. And, Caruana is saying that that's not his impression. That's not something they had knowledge of. I'm not commenting on this. I'm just trying to refer what he said. But of course, that is part of the debate. That goes for the whole Me Too debate in general, right? That are these things open secrets, or they come like a bolt from the blue?
What we can say, I think, for us, from what we know for sure, is that it was not an open secret in the chess world, as far as I'm concerned. I never heard about it. Never, ever. The first tweet from Jennifer Shahade came as a shock to me. If it was an open secret in UHS, I cannot. We're just in Europe, so we can. It's very hard to judge. But I don't know if you guys have more infos. But
no, same here.
As I mentioned, I heard about it in sort of in the last half year, but I heard about it after I was in St. Louis for the last time. I have never heard it mentioned in St. Louis. But again, I isolate myself, so I don't know. But this one was also kind of shocking to me.
Yeah, so they are strongly, they of course condemn what, because it's what they say. When there is 8 women who are accusing someone, I mean, you cannot simply, I mean, it's just that something, many wrong things happened, simply. I mean, you cannot deny it. I mean...
No, also I think at least there was a bit when I was discussing it in German, seems to be a misunderstanding of saying someone is innocent or there has to be reasonable doubt until proven otherwise, but that's more of a legal construct. We assume someone is innocent until, or the court assumes someone is innocent until proven otherwise. But of course, you are allowed to build your own opinion based on what is out there. And if you have so many accusers, it's very, very hard to believe that there's nothing to it, to put it very mildly. But I think people sometimes misconstruct these two things, like innocent until proven guilty. With you can build your opinion based on what's out there.
Yeah, but also, I mean, innocent until proven guilty doesn't mean that the chess world doesn't have a right to try and protect individuals before that. I mean, if there is some kind of doubt about a person, it's reasonable that the chess world protects and, well, for instance,
not just reasonable. It's something you have to do. That's why I'm saying you can't assume everybody is innocent if you get knowledge of things pointing to the contrary. It's a legal construct.
Yeah, I very much. Well, I think we actually agree for a change, so that's great.
And full support to the victim, and we believe them, of course. I mean, you just believe them. So that's stable, and
but that, I think that these are the developments. I haven't seen much more.
Yeah, of course, it's very interesting because they are close to Ramirez, even if, as Fabi said, he doesn't know him. Let's say he knows him since 2016, and then they started to work together in 2018. Of course, he's mentioning that during training camp, he couldn't guess anything. But of course, training camps are very... I mean, we know we spent some time together. I mean, training camp, you just you sleep. I mean, some people are sleeping a lot, as myself. You eat and you work. I mean, like it's every day repeat. You do some sport, but of course there is no social engagement there. So I mean, except with the people who are in the training camp. So. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, very hard to judge from afar. I think we're all very far away from this St. Louis chess scene. Like, we don't know what was also happening there. If people were partying, who had knowledge of what, at what point, as I think, we debated last time, if the St. Louis Chess Club and US Chess were informed beforehand, at least of the accusations, then I saw this public statement by US Chess saying, we made sure he wasn't close to minors, but I'm paraphrasing here, obviously, but the US Olympic team, they chose their own captain, so it wasn't us, and that was all, I don't know. I'm not sure if it was legal speak, but it didn't sound very convincing. Like,
Fabiano was also going into details with that. Again, I really don't want to sound like I'm defending anyone, but Caruana was just pointing out that they get a list of coaches who are interested in coaching the team, and then the team votes themselves in a democratic procedure like that.
Sure, but if you're the US Chess Federation, who I assuming is paying the coach, and there are accusations of misconduct against one of the coaches, maybe you don't put him on that list, for example? No, like,
I fully agree with that. That it doesn't matter how the vote is. If you have the responsibility, which the US Federation have, if they have some kind of knowledge, they are, in my opinion, obliged to act upon it. And if the player says we want him anyway, they just have to say no. It's as simple as that. So I think, but I'm just referring what's on the podcast and sort of, it becomes this kind of sliding scale, and no one says no at the right time.
Just completely off topic. Is that this is the first time I hear something like that you just vote for your captain or coach, or I mean that the players who get selected, they just go and vote.
How does it work? So Donaldson just crushed that vote 38 years in a row. Yeah, like there's always 5 names, and it's always bam.
As far as I could, from what I understood, was that people sort of apply to the federation. That they say, I have interest in this job, and then you are basically put on the list. And maybe no one else than Donaldson has shown interest in that because everybody knows he's going to be elected or something like this. So it's basically...
That would be weird that nobody applies, but yeah.
I mean, why would you run against someone you know who would win? That sounds like me and
you should tell us you know better about that.
You can't campaign. Who do we need? We can get Wesley.
Yeah, yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, we can go for this. But well, you should probably get the coaching. But it seems like a lot of people then apply to be the coach, and then you can. No, I mean, it's a very democratic system in a way. But it was a bit.
No, that's why I'm questioning, because it seems like it's always the same coach for the men's team, but I have no idea. Like maybe it's just he just crashes the election every time.
I don't think the coach should be elected by players. I mean, come on.
Shout out to John Donaldson, by the way. Big fan. That's not what I'm implying. I'm just curious if there's a
No. Yeah. I mean, well, Laurent, you wanted to that sort of. You have a couple of drinks with the leader of the federation, then you get the job. That's what you prefer.
No, I think it's you get the job. You have some federation is it's about competence and it's about results. Then you are judged. I mean, like results plus. I mean, like minimum behavior, let's say. But it's about results. Then you prove yourself by results. And I think you should be appointed by the federation and take your responsibility. If you are doing well, you can continue. If you are doing poorly, you have some goals and so on. You cannot be... Because with that system, you can be elected by players. Donaldson should... I mean, I don't know him at all, so I don't care if he's the captain or not. But you can be there for 10 years, even if the results are terrible. Let's say, from the last Olympiad, the US chess team did very, very poorly. And what I don't like, especially what I don't like, is that the captain cannot choose his players. He cannot choose the players. Let's say... you may think, let's say, I take some example. Some guy is stronger, but you think he will care less about the team. And while another one will show his best and show great motivation and great...
You're thinking of yourself,
and
right?
better results.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. No. I'm not thinking of myself. Let's say some young guy will try to prove himself. While some established guy will not care, it will be just one more tournament in the year. So I don't know.
I get your point, but also I mean, the US chess is not Paris Saint-Germain or Manchester City. I mean, well, the problem is that the players, at least in the US, are the one with much more competence in knowing what they want and who they want. I mean, the US Chess Federation is probably just some volunteers doing job who doesn't have any experience in this. I think chess national team is quite different than a football national team. And like in the US, you're actually getting, 5 or 4 top 10 guys in the world to show up, that they get to choose the captain. I think it's a bright move.
So you think that the captain is not paid?
No, not paid to that extent. Of course, he's paid, but I'm telling you that the real professionals is Caruana, Nakamura. So, I mean, they're the one spending all their life on elite chess, while those you want to have the decisions are just functionaries.
Which place did they take?
They have won the Olympiad at some point.
Yeah.
I think it's important to keep the players happy. That's, I think also in the Norwegian team, I'm pretty sure.
If they're doing poorly, why? I mean, like, just like, it's like, if Messi is bad, he should be out of the pitch. The coach should be able to kick him out, even if he's the best player in the world, and if he's not motivated, he should be, we will put someone else who gets more motivation for that. I don't know. I disagree, but okay. We want to get on that one.
No.
But the results, let's judge about the results. They are not good.
I think generally that the US players are playing with the best team is already very impressive.
Yeah, I think it's a common debate given the lineup of the team as German national captain, for example. I'm of course also arguing that I should get to choose all the players to have the best possible team, but the players, they also, I guess, they want some security that it's based on rating and so on, and not everything in one man's hand. In Germany, the system right now is that the first 4 are picked by rating, and then I get to choose one who I guess still has to meet certain requirements of activity and rating and so on. I'm not sure. I guess every situation is different. Also, how involved the coach is throughout the year, because in chess it's also often just a one-time gig where you accompany the players, and then the definition of the role can be very different if you're more of an opening coach or more of a manager or more of someone who's there during the rounds to keep the players happy. So I think it very much depends on circumstances. But at the end of the day, it is the federation's job to make sure you get the best players to play and to get a proper coach. How you accomplish that, I think, is wildly different depending on financial needs and how and means and what the team looks like and who wants to play and so on. I don't think there's one rule that fits all.
Yeah, no, I think you make good points, Jan. I fully agree. I think your system is okay in Germany. You get to choose one, so you can choose, let's say, it depends of the style. Yeah, you want for the fourth board. Let's say you can choose aggressive guy or not.
It's Germany we're talking about. No aggressive guys.
Yeah, that's a problem. There is some, no? Donchenko.
I'm kidding.
One, maybe 2. No, but I mean, you can choose the style of. To have different players as well. Yeah, I think that could be important.
Yeah. No, it's very case by case, I feel, but
yeah.
What I usually don't like, I'm not sure so many countries do it, but sometimes you had a rule like that the national champion has to be on the team, which can be fine, of course, but also in chess, many cases the national championship is not played by the strongest players because it clashes with whatever schedule or the money is not interesting or whatever other reasons. And then, of course, if that stops you from coming close to having the best team, that can be an issue. But yeah, I think it's so individual. Sometimes just the rules, if they stop you from having the best team, of course, then, or what do you think is the best team, that can be unpleasant, let's say.
So, sorry, I changed the topic completely by this.
No, that's okay, because the next change of topic is not going to make it better. We're getting to the correspondence update. Finally. Peter.
Not too much has happened since last time.
You bet.
I don't know how much I can talk, but I think I can talk about it in general. I'm just not allowed to give the positions. But I'm basically facing a choice of doing like a Marshall-style sacrifice and trying to basically draw by force by analyzing, the positions I care about is like 10, 15 moves from now, or I can just play a sound positional way and then be healthily fine. Well, I also know my opponent in the game sometimes listens to our podcast, so maybe he knows what I'm talking about there. But
and also, I think, Laurent and I both know the game is going to end in a draw, no matter what decision you take.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Which kind of odds would I give you for the game ending in a draw?
No, I think you should address the topic in your training camps. That will be like
for
the youngster.
No, that would be against the correspondence chess rules, so that I cannot do.
Really? So you can play with a computer, but you cannot show to people?
You cannot talk to anybody about it, for sure, yeah.
You can't talk to... So you're cheating like basically every week?
What do you mean? I cannot talk about the exact position. I think I'm allowed to talk about the event.
So you can't talk about the exact position, but you can check it with a computer?
I can only repeat, yes.
Maybe the rules need a bit of an update now, because, I don't know, call me crazy, but I would value Stockfish 15-1's input almost as much as, let's say, Laurent's input. No offense.
Yeah. But also, at some point, Laurent was asking if I just follow the computer's advice. But actually, with modern Stockfish, there is too many things ending in 0. So basically, sometimes I analyze for hours, and I just think they're the same. I like this move more than others. I mean, it actually ends up like this.
I didn't ask.
Isn't that exactly our job? You pick one of the zeros?
Yeah, something like that. But when we pick one, we are based on practical examples. I mean, somehow.
Yeah, exactly the point. That's why. No, now you realize that's why it makes it completely useless to play this Correspondence 960. I mean, actually, what we are doing is just add some practical value because, okay, you can think this one will surprise, or maybe it's even, I mean, we know some people who are
there black has to find 5 only moves, let's say.
Yeah.
But in Correspondence, they will find them.
Yeah. No, I don't know how they win, to be honest. Also, I mean, of course, my honor wants me to win my qualification group, so I go on to the next stage. But on the other hand, I'm also a bit terrified of having to do 8 more games, to be honest, because I don't see how one gets to play. I mean, if it's 5 guys who all uses modern computers for, let's say, an hour on each position, I have no idea how to make it interesting, to be honest. But,
that's what we've argued since the beginning, but the people want their Correspondence update.
I understand, but no. I mean, some of the games I won was pretty exciting, but I don't know how to fix it exactly. But I'm working.
No, but yeah, coming back to your Twitter argument you had about Chess 960, you thought that was incredibly interesting for. To play this Chess 960, but I don't think I agree with the guy you were discussing it. This Chess 960 is just too complicated to follow for people, and for me as well. So if it's too complicated for me to follow and not really interesting, I think.
But I think you are missing the point that chess is too complicated to follow anyway. I mean, when we have a million Norwegian following it, how many of them you think for real understands what's going on? I think we're talking hundreds.
No, but they can recognize some stuff. It's the Spanish opening. I've seen this before, or he prepares castles and so on. Well, yeah, I think the hurdle
that's just
is much
that's
higher
just
than
up to the commentator. You say, "Wow, now this is a corner queen position. This is very interesting," or something like this. I mean,
yeah, but that's not a real thing. Like, not something that will repeat.
I mean, you took really an example where people, they don't know how to move pieces in Norway and they are still watching chess. But most of the time, people who are watching chess, they know how to play.
The numbers from the 960 World Championship was actually pretty good.
On Chess 24, it was always stable.
No, I don't know. But again, I mean, I'm basically just telling you what my boss thinks. That's my go-to move.
Okay.
I mean, I used to hate the Chess 960. Now I think actually it's incredibly fun.
No, I generally agree with Magnus, but on that one, I don't think it will make it interesting.
Yeah, but that's because I think I know you well enough to have an idea that you haven't spent 10 hours studying it.
I played a couple of tournaments.
But you played them. But did you start your game with an engine? Did you actually care about trying to understand some principles?
Barely. No, I spent hours because I did help Magnus. We both did a few years ago.
Yep.
We had to prepare with this FIDE or whatever and put the position.
But we were just reading aloud the engine's lines. But for instance, Matthew Sattler has made some interesting videos about it. I mean, it's a very fascinating game, in my opinion. It's I used to think it was the crappiest of the variants. Now I think it's the best. And the kids might like it or not, but they're gonna get some lectures on that subject soon.
Very useful for them.
I know.
Yeah, they'll be thrilled. Going to chess camp. Okay, kids, let's talk about chess. Well, not quite chess.
I'm actually also going to show them a couple of examplings of both pawn sideways and self-captured chess. But that's just to sort of ease them into the topic of 960.
Mm-hmm. Sounds amazing. This was an amazing segment that eases us into what comes next, which is the 21 minutes of FIDE segment brought to you by Peter, Heine, Nielsen, Laurent. That means we get a well-deserved break, but of course, the listeners are thrilled.
I will listen. So behave yourself, Peter. I'm not talking, but I will be listening.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Well, I will just read aloud that actually Ukrainian Chess Federation has not been very active, but Suddenly, they made a very strong statement, which I'm going to read out in full, but in English, not Ukrainian. Dear members of the FIDE Council, amid talks in FIDE about the possibility of admissions of athletes from the Russian Federation to participate in official competitions, we ask you to pay attention to the attempts of the Chess Federation of Russia to, quote, integrate the occupied territories of Ukraine into its chess life. Such activities is an element of forced integration of the temporarily occupied territories. Everyone who participates in it, including the Chess Federation of Russia, is officials and sponsors, as well as international chess organizations, including FIDE, who tacitly contribute, explicitly or implicitly encourage, turn a blind eye, or do not notice this, are accomplices of murderers and aggressors, and, without doubts, are subjects to international sanctions and criminal prosecutions. We call on FIDE to immediately condemn these criminal acts and tighten sanctions against Russian chess players, functionaries, and all of those who are involved in this. Well, what triggered this very strong reaction from the Ukrainian Chess Federation, I think, is that the Russian Chess Federation, they posted about that they had a recent meeting where they also included representatives of Donetsk, of Luhansk, of Kherson, and of Zaporozhye. This is the sort of 4 new, what are they called, regions that was included into Russia by sort of, according to the Russian optics, by a decision of Putin and of the Russian parliament. And this they are protesting heavily, and this has some quite potential to escalate because, at least in my opinion, this goes, that Russia actually starts having activities in these recently annexed territories is completely unacceptable. It goes against the FIDE Charter, against UN decisions, and so on and so forth. So that is somewhat explosive, I would say. And also on the real political scene, the Lithuanian parliament came out with a very strong statement. And I think I'll also just read it aloud because it's done by my wife, and I should sort of be very transparent about my family's point of view. And I think also what is perhaps interesting is that my wife is not an extremist on this point at all. She's just in line with what is seen in Lithuania, while I'm in the chess world seen as being completely on one side. But I think her lingo is quite stronger than mine, which just gives an idea of the difference in perspectives. But this is from the declaration that was voted on, I think, last Saturday by the Lithuanian parliament, 109 for, 0 against. So, being convinced that the victories of Russian and Belarusian athletes, even if achieved under neutral flag, will be used for war and hate propaganda by the criminal regimes that run their states, and as proof that there is no real sanctions are in place, and that the international situation is supposedly normalizing, noting that Russia and Belarus use their athletes' participation and victories in all international competitions for propaganda purposes to legitimize their regimes. Considering the proposals to allow Russian and Belarusian athletes to participate in the Olympic Games or other international competitions under a neutral flag to be neither morally nor legally acceptable, as it would give the representatives of the countries committing war crimes in Ukraine a substantial and non-sporting advantage at the time when the athletes of Ukraine, which is being terrorized by the criminal actions of Russia and its collaborator Belarus, are forced to have to defend their homeland on the battlefield, do not have the opportunity to properly prepare or represent their country in competitions, or are even killed in defending their freedom, while numerous Ukrainian sports facilities have been destroyed by the Russian forces. Well, I'm just telling you what is the Lithuanian point of view. This battle seems to be generally lost in terms of votes. I think that, for instance, Africa has fully supported that Russia is back at the Olympiad in Paris. But what I think we see is that some states, and I think Lithuania is doing that, are starting to cut fundings to sport that competes together with Russian athletes. So, for instance, if Russia players are back at the Olympiad, the Lithuanian team would lose its funding based on the current rules. And either I've been cut off or Laurent and Jan has just left. But I'm basically finished with my segment, I think.
Wow.
Thank you, Peter.
You're welcome.
I guess brings us to the end of this episode. Once again, apologies for the sound and the hiccups and the content. The usual, if you still want to support this beautiful little podcast, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/ what is it, Chicken Chess? Nobody knows.
Yeah. I have already bought a lot of golf equipment based on income coming there. So please.
Peter needs his golf equipment.
It will be in the description of the episode. The link will be in the description of the episode.
For sure. Also, don't forget to subscribe, rate, review on your podcast quest site of
5
choice.
stars.
Minimum. If you can give it 6 stars, we should absolutely do that. That was the Chicken Chess Club, episode 46. Thanks for listening and see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.